Can't Be Influenced, where we talk about news and influencers, from celebrity to social media. Let's get into it. Hey, you awesome listeners, and welcome to the show, Can't Be Influenced podcast. I'm your host, Heather, and I'm wondering how you guys are holding up with Christmas being just 2 days away. Like, what are you doing? So we're laying low this Christmas. We're just going to stay home and do gifts, have some hot chocolate or something festive like that, and just enjoy the warmth. The only thing I can't vibe with is this weather. It's not even snowing. I'm used to the white wonderland. That's how it's supposed to be. It's like Halloween with no monsters. Anywho, today we're going to fill you with the holiday spirit with some heartwarming Christmas stories from real life events. Also, stick around to the end because I have a special message and announcement to share with all of you. All right, let's get into the show. This first story here is about a woman with kids who would walk to work. So let's hear how her story goes. Over the last 2 weeks, the Franklin County Sheriff's Office has received several calls regarding a woman walking on Highway 59, between Ottawa and Princeton at around 7 a.m. So she'd walk back and forth to work at 7 a.m. Each time deputies responded, they encountered a 24-year-old Princeton woman named Christy Wheeler and would offer to give her a ride to work so she would not have to walk on the highway in the cold, mind you. Now, throughout these contacts with her, the sheriff's office learned this woman walked 12 miles to and from work. She works at Love's Truck Stop, and she did this to support her 2 small children. Christine made comments about how she had to walk so she could feed her children, and she was very driven and motivated to take care of her family any way she could. After giving the woman a ride to work, a small group of deputies gathered, and they discussed how they could help this woman. After only a few days, and then through generous citizens and businesses, they were able to donate a van, 2 new car seats, a Price Chopper gift card, the registration for the van, and the first year of car insurance, along with $200. So just imagine that you have 2 young kids and you have to walk back and forth to work 12 miles. That is so freaking long. But if you had to do it to take care of your family, of course you would do it. So this was a complete life changer for her. And I hope that maybe one day she can tell her kids about this story, or it instilled hope in her. I really love these kinds of stories because of the hope that it gives people, and it just changes the way these people think. So our story 2, UPS driver gets love. All right. Anthony Gaskin is a UPS driver in Chesterfield County, Virginia, and continued working through COVID like most people, He delivered packages at their doors, a record number of them, by the way, over 180 times to date. Anthony always smiles, waves, and goes above and beyond to deliver packages with care. He makes you feel like a friend when you see him, someone said, and that prompted Patty and her neighbors to come up with a way to show their appreciation for Gaskin. Then on Tuesday, December 16th, arriving on bikes, on foot, and in more than 75 cars, hundreds of Halsey residents lined the road and waited for Anthony to turn the corner. She wrote, a humble man, he needed to be coaxed, but eventually slowly drove his truck down the road while children and adults held up signs, screamed his name, honked their horns, and rang bells. The gesture visibly moved Gaskin, who spoke briefly, thanked everyone, and then got back to work. Now that is a humble man if I've ever seen one. Like, it's altruism. Isn't it altruism when people show really caring tendencies for no gain? That's probably what he would remind me of. And I love hearing stories about people who are just very altruistic. And I'm just glad he got what he deserved. That almost sounds hostile. I'm glad that he was met with appreciation and his altruistic behaviors were seen and honored. Now on to story 3. It's an old couple. It's about an old couple and a secret Santa, which we'll hear about the secret Santa again here in just a minute because the secret Santa is from Idaho. I believe it's Idaho. So a 65-year-old woman who works at McDonald's named Diana Boldman and her husband, who's also 65, were surprised by a secret Santa. Now, the guy who delivered it was Eaton. He's not the secret Santa, but he has been the sole representative of a local secret Santa who gives money and other gifts to deserving members of the community. And he's been doing that for the past 6 years. He learned about the older couple's situation, how they were on disability and suffered with severe back issues, along with other health issues. And so he surprised Deanna Boldman and her husband with a 2019 Hyundai, as well as $5,000 in gift cards for gas and a check for $1,000 to cover the cost of the new car's registration. And it was all from her Secret Santa. Whoever the Secret Santa is, I've been reading about him when I was researching into some really nice, heartwarming stories. And I wish I knew who this guy was. I'm sure there's a lot of people who wonder who it could be a female too. I don't know, guy, girl, whoever this person is. It's another one of those stories that you're just like, how can someone be so freaking kind? And loaded, by the way, they're giving out gifts and all this stuff. And, it's not cheap. But I'm glad that someone's using their money for good things like this. Anyway, now our fourth story is going to be something a little more way more lighthearted than this, because it's going to be kind of funny. It's about Twitter. I'm going to have to pull up Twitter's news feed because they were posting things that were, funny. So what they're doing is they are sharing pictures from around the city as part of a campaign. And the post that they're sharing, it says things like, I'm not entering 2021 unless I see a trailer first. 2020. Girl, what happened? The other one reads, if 2020 was a person, it would be my ex. Dear 2021, please don't tell 2020 to hold your beer. Please. First rule of 2021, don't talk about 2020. Before I agree to 2021, I need to see some terms and conditions. It goes from 2019, then 2021. We don't know this year. 2020 needs to pull over and just let me out. I'll walk. I'm leaving 2020 the worst review. Please do not bring that foolishness into 2021. So Twitter was sharing these images from other places, from cities and things like that. They'd have them up on their billboards or whatnot. Mostly I'm seeing pictures of billboards, and that is basically that. So those are funny, a little short, but funny. And I don't know what else to say about that. But let's move on to our next story. And this one is more so an actual little fun fact. It's about World War I, and it's a one that kind of shocked me. So here it goes. World War I was a dark episode for humanity. It's estimated that between 17 to 40 million people died, making it one of the deadliest conflicts in history, surpassed only by World War II. But amid the bloody horrors of war, there was yet an inspiring glimpse of human fraternity and kindness on the Christmas of 1914. When hostiles were at their lowest, soldiers across the front managed to find in them the dignity to stop the fight and come together through common ground. And that truly gives you hope for our species. As the story goes, while British and German troops were in the trenches of France, some soldiers started singing carols on Christmas Eve, and the other side reciprocated. German troops walked across the battlefield the morning after, shouting Merry Christmas in English. The British received them, and both sides exchanged cigarettes and souvenirs. Some even got together to play a friendly football match. And then our next story is a true story as well. All of these are true stories, of course. And this story is about a family who didn't have a Christmas tree and they had young kids, but it has a happy ending. Christmas trees are an essential part of Christmas, and it's sad whenever any family is unable to get one, especially for the children. Such was the case for the Albert family during the Christmas of 1958, when unlucky circumstances seemed to conspire to deprive them of an evergreen fir that year. No vendor was to be found, no tree was available, and the Albert kids were devastated. The 3 and 4-year-olds had been looking forward to its decoration and to finding Santa's presents under it, but by Christmas Eve, they had to face the fact that their hopes would go unfulfilled. Suddenly, as they were driving home that night, a strong wind violently threw a tree in front of their truck. Looking to see if it belonged to anyone, or if it was for sale, Mr. Albert asked around town about it. No one was selling a tree that night, and it seemed to be free of any owner. So the family took it home. And sure, the children probably believed in miracles from then on. Now, I really wanted to share that one in particular, not because it's just a heartwarming, nice, happy ending story, but it kind of relates to how 2020 has been and treated all of us. A lot of us have gotten hit or know people who have gotten hit by the repercussions of the virus, the pandemic. And some people are not able to afford this Christmas, or they've lost their jobs. And I know someone who I don't know the person, but I know that this happened. The company fired this woman who has young kids today, right before Christmas. So, what kind of a slap in the face is that? But I'm not here to share sad stories or anything. All I'm saying is that this year has not been super, super great. And I'm hoping that some people find their Christmas tree and have their happy ending. That's all. Okay, for the next story, it's that same Secret Santa again. So let's hear what he did next. That same Secret Santa surprised a man with a new smile. He didn't make it a known fact that he was sleeping in a truck. This guy was sleeping in a truck, but people were bound to find out. And once this Secret Santa, who's been sending out many blessings around Idaho, when he found out, he gave him a new smile. Now, the man's name is Alan, and he was suffering from tooth infections and all kinds of problems with his teeth, and he just couldn't bear the cost of the upkeep on his teeth. So he just had them all pulled out. The Secret Santa somehow found out, probably got tipped by Alan, who Alan worked with, who caught on to the struggles he was going through. And when the Secret Santa found out, he gave Alan a well-deserved set of dentures. Here's a clip of how that went down.
Merry Christmas, everybody. We are in Idaho Falls today. I'm Nate Eaton with East Idaho News, and we're about to surprise a really deserving person named Alan with a gift from Secret Santa. Let me read to you the nomination form that came in. I got to know Alan when the company I worked for needed to hire some temp workers. Alan immediately stood out. He had an excellent work ethic, worked hard to be proficient in the job, and always left his work area immaculate. The work we needed was on and off, and whenever we called the temp agency, we always requested Alan. We lost track of him for a while, but were lucky enough to get him back. He was in a pretty dire situation when he started back. He struggled to make ends meet and ended up being homeless. For over a year, he lived in his truck. This was 2 years ago, and he never told anybody about it. Luckily, he was able to reunite with some family and able to move into a house as a temporary solution. Recently, he was hired full-time, and now he has a little house that he rents. He's always the first one to arrive at work and works long hours and cancels vacations just to make sure deadlines are met. While Alan has a home and does make ends meet, he does have the difficult decision of whether to afford, if he can afford, getting some of his teeth pulled. In fact, all of his teeth need to be pulled. He cannot afford to get them cleaned or repaired when there is a problem and they have become infected. Even though Alan does have insurance, there's still an out-of-pocket expense to get all of this dental work done. Not anymore. If you look inside this box, Secret Santa is going to pay to get Alan a new smile. Not only that, he's going to give him $3,000 in gift.
So in the box that he showed you, just because since this is audio and you don't have visuals, I will be your eyes for you. He opened that small little box and it has a set of dentures in it.
Cards to a local store. We're here outside Patandon where Alan is working. Let's go surprise him. Is Alan out here?
Not yet.
Okay. You gonna get him? Is he on his way?
He's coming.
Great.
He's walking out now.
How are you guys? You here for the company meeting? We're here for you, Alan. Don't try to sneak away. I'm Nate with East Idaho News. How's your day going?
Oh, great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How long have you worked here?
Oh, about 4.5 years.
We hear you're the best temp worker that these guys have ever used.
Okay.
Did they tell you that?
Well, I'm still here. So.
You're still here. And you're not a temp anymore, from what I understand. You're actually an employee.
Right.
Well, we wanted to come and thank you for all the hard work you do here. And a local Secret Santa heard about you and asked if we would bring you a Christmas gift today.
Thank you.
So you can open it. You don't have to wait till next week.
Okay.
there's $500 on each of those.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
So it's $3,000 total.
Oh, this is...
And you can use those at Walmart or at Sam's Club. So that can hopefully get your Christmas started off right. And we have one more thing for you from Secret Santa. I'll switch you boxes if you want. So these obviously aren't yours.
Aren't gonna fit, right?
But Secret Santa wants to get you a new smile.
So when he opened up the box, after he opened up the gift cards, then he switched the boxes and he opened up the box and he saw a set of dentures, the set of teeth in there. He looked away almost like just really shocked and just really happy and set back like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And then he starts crying. So, and of course he does because, our teeth are a big thing to us. We usually kind of rely a lot on how our teeth look and everything like that. But I just want to let all of you know, too, that you're beautiful and to not worry about those superficial outside things. What matters is what's in your heart. So this episode is all about being heartwarming and kind. So I wanted to let you all know that. So I hope that these stories were refreshing to you guys and made you smile or feel good or happy. I really enjoyed reading them and also telling them to you. I think, honestly, it's what we needed to hear, an episode we needed before ending and closing out the chapter of our lives, which is this crazy year. Now, I kind of want to move on. I'm going to ask, how are you guys going to spend your Christmas this year? Are you staying in? Are you spending time with extended family? I just want to say that however you spend your holiday this year, I just hope you stay safe and let this be a time to kick back and look forward to 2021 and better things and goals and keep those goals. But on Christmas, just relax and kick back and do your best to just not worry and think about all the superficial things, finances. If it's hard for you, I understand that. And I'm not trying to downplay that at all. I'm just saying allow yourself a mental break. It's been a rough year. And at least maybe one day out of this year, try to, instill some hope in yourselves and those around you. There's been a lot of hardships, but that should make us all the more grateful for every little thing we do have. If you have the chance, spread the gift of kindness before the year's end and have a wonderful holiday, however you celebrate, and then a happy new year to you all as well. Now, I will be back right after Christmas with another episode. And before we go here, I want to let you guys know that I've set up a Patreon account and the link will be in the description. So be sure to check that out down there. I tried really hard to set something up that could not only just support the show, but really give back to our supporters. So be sure to check out the tiers over there and the gifts and the benefits that I'll be giving out, such as exclusive bonus episodes made just for you, which, by the way, I can't tell you how excited I am about that. I'm going to be having a guest on my next podcast who will talk about the election and Trump's recent shenanigans in an attempt to stay in office. Just letting you know she's not a fan of Trump. My guest is a retired journalist who is now a writer/editor and loves to dish all things politics. Probably going to also dabble into discussing Wonder Woman 1984 and Patty Jenkins not being paid as much to direct as her male counterparts, as well as other things I'm sure we'll get into with this guest too. Now, a very special announcement for all of you. For our unscripted series that are posted up on Monday mornings that I just started, I will be having a very special friend of mine who I've personally known since junior high school, and she's great, you guys. But she's agreed to co-host with me on this series, and I couldn't be more thrilled. So, I can't wait for you all to meet her and get to know her. She's big into all things entertainment, so this will be fun. More good things to come in the future, so stick around. That's it for today's episode. Remember, the biggest gift you can give is to spread the gift of kindness. All right, guys. Until next time.
Looking out with no parachute. I'm dreaming about us too.